Call upon me, and I will answer. Sometimes we do not like to call upon God in our distress. We think that we know and we can solve all our problems by all ourselves. But sometimes when we realize that our distress is more than we can handle, and we call upon God, sometimes it's too late. Do you call upon God in your distress? What is bothering you? What is your distress? We are sometimes too complacent, and even though there are folks who might be in distress and they are calling out, Mayday, Mayday, we do not seem to hear, or sometimes we do not seem to have any concern about those in distress. Sometimes we say to ourselves, you have your trouble and I have mine. We all calling out, Mayday. I don't have no time for your trouble. I have my own trouble to take care of. David says in Psalms 120 and verse 1 and 2, I cried unto the Lord in my distress, and he heard me. Do you cry unto the Lord? Do you call upon him? We know the story of Mary and Martha and Lazarus. Lazarus was sick, and they sent a distress message. Master, the one whom you love is sick. Mayday, Mayday. We need your urgent response. The Bible tells us in John chapter 11 that Jesus, instead of responding to the distress call, he stayed a little longer. He delayed his response. One preacher says that Jesus did not respond because sometimes we of ourselves, we limit God, we limit the power, we limit his ability to respond. We think that Jesus' limitation was to come when Lazarus was sick. That's how Martha and Mary was thinking, because when they went to Jesus and said, if you have been here, our brother would not have died. So they knew the power of Jesus. They knew his ability that he could have he could have healed their brother. But they did not know how powerful Jesus is. So when Jesus delayed and came after Lazarus has passed, for them it was too late. But we are told that with God what? All things are possible. Do you believe? You know, sometimes we say things and we use them as talking points. We say it from our mouth, but in our heart, we don't believe it one bit. We don't believe it at all. Martha, stones of adversity. What are the stones of adversities are you facing? Am I facing? Are you blaming yourselves? Are you saying, "Oh, it is my fault. I should have done this or I should have done that"? Do you think that this adversity came upon you by chance? Or do you think it was something that you did, and so you are facing the punishment or the consequences of your action? Sometimes it is not always that way. Remember Job? Remember Job. Job was an innocent man who faced adversity. It was not of his own making, but it was because of his faithfulness and his loyalty towards God that he was tried and tested. And in his adversity, he held firm, he held strong, and he trusted in God. He said, "Even though he slay me, yet will I trust him." Let's go back to let's go back to the story of Mary and Martha there. Yes, Mary and Martha, when they approached Jesus, they said the same identical thing. "Master, if you have been here, our brother would not have died." They believed, they knew that Jesus would have been able to heal their brother and prevented him from dying. But their problem was that they were limiting Jesus' power to sickness. And before Jesus left where he was, he says that I will delay and I will let him die. Sometimes God does not answer us in the way we expect that he would or he should. So sometimes he may let your mother die because he wants to teach us something. Sometimes he may allow the sick person or the person who have gotten into an accident die because perhaps he wants you to learn a lesson from this incident. Jesus said that this death was a death to glorify the Father. So after Lazarus was dead and buried, Jesus said, "Let's go to Bethany. Let's go to wake Lazarus up because he sleeps." Do we limit the power of God? This is the question I'm asking each one of us. Do we limit the power of God? Do we say that we believe, but yet we do not exercise the faith that is necessary for God to exercise or demonstrate his power towards us? You see, we cannot know or we cannot understand the power of God unless we allow him to to demonstrate or manifest his power within us. And he cannot manifest or demonstrate his power within us if we limit him to our idea, to our perception of him. And Mary and Martha limited God, limited Jesus to their perception of him. Yes, we know you have power. Yes, we know you can heal. But resurrect? Maybe. There were resurrection that Jesus performed, but not after 4 days. Not after 4 days. When someone dies for 4 days, you medical student, you will know that by this time rigor mortis would have set in. And decomposition is active. The corpse would have already been bloated. There will be some chemical changes within the body, and this person will begin to decompose. So when Jesus asks Martha, Martha, where did you bury it? Come and show me where you buried it. And Jesus asked, give the command, roll away the stone. And Martha said, no. He is sick already. He is running in already. No, master. And Jesus was a little bit irritated at the time. He said, didn't I tell you? If you only believe, you will see great and mighty things. Jesus said, take away the stone. And Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he thinketh, for he had been dead 4 days. Our adversity, our distress may have been lingering for a while. And you may tell yourself that by now it is impossible for me to solve. It is too late for me. But you perhaps have not given God the opportunity to solve your problem. Stones of distress, stones of adversity. What is it that you face? What is it that seems impossible for you to handle? Jesus said unto her, said I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou wouldst see the glory of God? Sometimes we limit God, and when we do so, God is unable to manifest or demonstrate his purpose and his will and his plans for our lives. Hebrews 13:35. Hebrews 13:35. All right, Hebrews 13 and verse 5, sorry. Hebrews 13 and verse 5. Let your conduct be without covetousness. Be content with such things as thou have. For he himself said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. The Lord will not leave you nor forsake you in your distress, in your problems, or in your troubles. With God, as we said, all things are possible. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Today, I am encouraging us to exercise or demonstrate our faith in God, just as those patriarchs of old, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah, even Samson. Let us demonstrate that we trust in God, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways, we must what? Acknowledge him, and he will do what? He will direct your path. We have an obligation. We have a duty. And I want to encourage each one of us as we go into our evangelistic week, that we do something. Do something. No matter how small it is, do something to make this event a success, to make it possible for someone to accept and follow Jesus as their Lord and Savior. We cannot just think about our adversity, all the work that we have to do, all the lessons we have to cover, all the practical or labs we have to take. When you focus on yourself and your adversity, then it becomes big, because you're carrying it all by yourself. But when you cast your burdens upon the Lord, he said, I will sustain thee. Cast your burdens upon the Lord, and I will sustain you. I will give you the strength. I will give you the ability to conquer and to overcome. But if you think that I cannot, I am unable, well then, I am unable. And so many of us, we profess that we trust in God, that God is able to help us. God is able to give us wisdom. God is able to give us understanding. God is able to give us knowledge. God is able to give us the victory. But when it comes for us to exercise and demonstrate that, yes, God, I trust in you to give me the victory,